My name is Rossborough, and this week we are going to be looking at the Harley Benton SC-DLX, or the Single Cut Deluxe. I bought this about 2 weeks ago, so I've had a little bit of time to live with it. I ordered it in this wonderful finish called Pelham Blue. It's a beautiful satin finish. This is my first Harley Benton guitar after hearing so much online about how much they try and cram into a guitar for such a low price. I had to get one, and this one was the prettiest. Firstly, let's go through all the specs. So the body is a Naito body. We've got a rosewood fretboard. We've also got stainless steel frets. Now, when I bought this, it was about $295. It's actually dropped to $275. So stainless steel frets for under £300 is absolutely amazing. The neck is mahogany. We have a Graphtec tusk nut. We have Gotoh hardware. So the tuners and the bridge, tailpiece, etc. all by Gotoh. Neck radius is 10 inches, quite comfortable to play. The pickups are a pair of Tesla VR2 Alnico 5s. There's also some coil splitting going on here. We pop our tone up and down. When it's up, we can split the coil. When it's down, we get full humbuckers again. That is the specs. Now more on to the review type things. First things first, I ordered mine in that little dark black hole space between Christmas and New Year's. The item was in stock, but for some reason, Thomann took about 2, maybe 3 weeks to deliver it. I don't know if that's that kind of getting back to work vibe, if restrictions came in the way, but I did have a little bit longer of a wait than I would like to have had for this guitar. When it arrived, I was happy with the way it was shipped. It arrived in really good condition. Let's mention a few negative points about this guitar. As I said, this guitar is very, very pretty. We got like 7-ply binding in here, which is quite well done. The binding seems pretty good the whole way round, even on the headstock as well, which is an extra bonus. A few little issues that I found with it are really more aesthetic than anything. Tiny little bit of finish here that just wasn't completely flush along with the binding. There's a slight little bit of the neck peeking through the finish here. I don't really mind this too much. You probably can't make it out on camera. It's only really visible with the naked eye when you're this close. Also, what you find with a lot of budget guitars is around about this nut here. It's never quite finished quite well, and it does look a little bit nasty here. A little bit of sanding or filing will clean that up quite well, but what do you expect for under £300? A common complaint about Harley Bentons is when you have a 3-way switch that it's quite wobbly. For me, that's not much of a problem. It flicks up and it flicks down quite well and quite smoothly. The left to right wobble, I don't really notice it that much, and this part is super cheap and super easy to replace. Now, because of the type of finish on this, because it's not that high gloss kind of lacquer, you will find that this guitar might be a little bit more susceptible to a few dings and a few scrapes, and the paintwork might just chip off a little bit quicker than something with a harder exterior. So expect to get a road-worn look unless you're super careful with your guitar. One last thing, which might be a huge point for some people, but not so much for me, is the frets. The frets are very gritty straight out of the box. Let's see if you can hear them. There's a little bit of raspiness there. I'm not sure if the microphone's picking it up. For a huge amount of people, that seems to be a big problem. I don't find gritty frets that huge of a problem, because usually when I get a new guitar, I strip the old factory strings out and I put the ones that I prefer in. In the middle of that process, that gives you an opportunity to polish your frets. You can get little polish bars for your frets now that do a super duper job. Some people recommend using 0 grade steel wool. I would be a little bit careful with 0 grade steel wool around pickups. You can tape up your pickups and keep them protected from those little minute pieces of metal flying around that might go in and mess up your pickup. I think just to be safe, you're better getting those little polish bars. It's literally a job that might take half an hour to an hour. It beats waiting 2 weeks for a replacement guitar. onto how it sounds. These Tesla pickups are super. I really dig them. However, I will say in the coil split mode, they are a little bit lacking. Now, personally, I did not buy this guitar for versatility. I wanted just a big, mean LP machine. But if you are looking for a little bit of versatility with that coil split, you might find that this guitar is slightly lacking in that area. However, the humbucker position is super. I really like them. Do they hold up as good as something like a set of Seymour Duncans? Not as well, but not a kick in the bum off. The Gotoh tuners are very smooth. I haven't found any tuning issues at all between that and the bridge. I only needed to slightly change the intonation, and also the action just had to be lowered by about a quarter turn on each side of the bridge. So a really playable guitar straight out of the box, apart from those gritty frets. But again, it's a little DIY job that you can get out of the way straight away. Once you learn to do it once, that's you've got a new skill set. This guitar functioning as a Les Paul copy, is it like a Les Paul? No, it is slightly different. It's got a little bit of a different flavor, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It can hold its own in a mix. It can hold its own as a playable guitar. For something that is under £300, I can't believe the quality of the build, the parts that are included, and the sound from it. If you see my other videos, you know I am a big fan of modding guitars and changing parts. To be honest, the only things that I would change in this guitar is perhaps the pots, because they are quite cheap. They will go after a while. And maybe if I get bored of them, I might switch out these Tesla pickups. But at the minute, I'm really happy with them. I do think this guitar could benefit from a little bit of fret leveling, only to get that really smooth, low, buttery action coming out of this guitar. That's enough waffling on. Let's listen to it plugged in. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this review was helpful for you. If you bought one of these, let us know what you think down in the comments section. If you've got any other recommendations for good budget guitars, please drop them down in the comments too, because you'll be helping someone else out. If you like this video, please leave a like and think about subscribing if you would like to see more. Until the next video, ta-ta for now.